Hey y'all. Oh, what am I doing? Where is everyone? I know it's late. My face is hella oily. It looks like I had lip injections, but it's not. It's my lip liner thing. Hello. Hey. Happy, what is it, Friday? Y'all, I don't even remember the date. What? But we got a lot to talk about because this whole thing with Gypsy is crazy. Let me put you guys up here. Wait, why is it zooming in on my face? All right. Y'all, she is spiraling fast. Have you noticed that Bree, Sheena, and them just keep trying to defend her stuff? I'm happy you guys saw it. I tried to record as much of it as possible. Well, no. It was already saved to my phone. But I did screen record it, but then you couldn't hear it. Luckily, it was saved. But Bree has went up there a couple of times to speak to him, and I think it's very interesting. A lot of the stuff she says. At this point, I don't really understand how is it damage control when those things are easily debunked. Does it make sense? Hey, first of all, listen to Bree is like a whole headache. It is like it's like what are we doing here? Hey, Rock, y'all, I have the funniest story to tell you guys. I'm gonna tell this to TikTok once it's taken care of. No, I don't think Gypsy will go and speak to Perez. Well, there's a couple of reasons why I don't think she will. But one main reason I don't think she will is because her stories contradict each other in each interview that she does. And she's not, she's never spoken to somebody on a media platform that was really privy about her case. So she was able to tell them pretty much whatever. But now that Perez has more information and he's learning more as the days go on, he will know what she's saying and what she's not saying. That's a lie. And also, let's be honest, like, she's not good at lying for real. No. And she doesn't want to answer any questions that aren't pre planned. And someone asked me a very interesting question about Gypsy, and it got me to thinking. Someone said, well, why do you think that the world has believed her up until this point? There's a couple of reasons. One reason is there's not a lot of women like her. A lot of the traits she has are like very masculine traits, especially like her level of narcissism, like sociopath behavior, like those you don't normally see in women, at least not this prevalent. And I think because she is a case that's kind of like unique, people have a hard time believing that someone could be like her. And because people have a hard time believing that, they have a hard time wrapping their mind around her being this bad until they saw those videos of her actually saying it with her own mouth. And I think now people are like, wow, and they're still trying to wrap their mind around it. But it's very interesting to see the way the general public is handling seeing this, um, and how shocked some people are. I think it's sorry, y'all. I feel like the writing has been on the wall all this time, and people are just now seeing it because all these videos have came out. Gypsy Rose Blanchard. So I think it's just interesting to kind of see how things have kind of played itself out. But there's something I really wanted to talk to you guys about because I think, hold on, I just want to make sure I filtered these because I'm not going to play with these people tonight. Um, Ryan, have y'all seen what Ryan said the other day about Gypsy? Where he was saying that that's not who he married? And he was pretty much in defense of her. Man, any inkling of hope I tried to have for him, it's so unfortunate because that's gone. It's like, dude, I just got on here. Um, it's like, Ryan. Okay, I might be wrong. I might be very wrong. But I think within the next month and a half, she'll be within Ryan's vicinity. Hey, Vanell. I think you're right, Tabitha, is he and I was kind of at first I didn't think that, but now the fact that he would still play into what she's saying, it really does make me feel like that. I don't know. But then it's weird because his mom seems like so normal and so I don't know. I can't make sense out of it. I think his response as a whole is, first of all, for her to have videos, and again, this is not a transcript anymore, right? These are actual videos of her saying what she would do. How do you still act like that's okay? Hey, Kathy. How I I just feel like no one could justify that. Like you can't justify that. And it doesn't matter what you say. She's a predator. Oh, wait. Ken also has another ex-lover from Florida speaking out trying. Is it a male or a female? Yeah, here's the thing. You're afraid to face the truth. How does that really make sense when you think about it? You're dealing with the truth right now in real life. How could you wouldn't it's not like Gypsy's Kim Kardashian or Paris Hilton or Tyra Banks. A male. Interesting. Ooh, that's interesting. How do we know this is legit? I don't know if Ken and Gypsy are still together. I would assume they're having a lot of issues right now just because of this coming out. I don't see how he built Gypsy up. If anything, Christy could probably take that crown. You know, yeah, this it. I really wanted to think that Ryan was like decent, but I don't know. I mean, obviously not at this point. It's clear. Yes, Tabitha. That's what really frustrated me was him putting the blame on Nick. When the videos where he's speaking, it's very clear that he has a cognitive delay. Like it's not even like you're not even unsure. Like I don't get it. I really don't get it. And that's the funny part. Ken did say he wanted all of it to come out, but I also don't think that Ken really thought that this was really what was gonna, like, I don't think he believed it. And I say that because if he did, why would he say he wanted it to come out? I think both Ryan and Ken probably are the people were too. I'm not sure. I'm just saying alleged. I mean, I would assume, especially for sure Ken. The reason why I say for sure Ken, I would think, is because he had a child with her. And these thoughts and conversations that she was having with Nick, there, it doesn't just go away. And you know what? I have something to say. This is directly to Bree and her people and Gypsy's people, because I know y'all sitting here watching like goofballs sitting there crazy, and you probably shocked that I just called you out. But I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Anybody that's a PDF or has thoughts like that, that's a mental disorder. It doesn't go away. So saying, "Oh, I've had therapy," that's not something that goes away. I don't care how much therapy you have. That's why they're on register lists. That's exactly why they're on lists. That is a mental disorder for you to want to do anything to a minor, let alone your child. There's nothing that you're going to be able to say, "Oh, that was 10 years ago." 10 years ago? Okay. I still have shirts from 10 years ago. 10 years ago is not that long ago. I'm not really sure why that seems like a. We're not talking about you stole a Twix bar from Walmart and that was 10 years ago and you can get past that. No, you were talking about having your daughter assaulted by her dad. That is like, that's not, "Oh, I've had therapy." No, you need to be locked away. You're a horrible person. And it seems like everything you want to assault, including your toothbrush. You don't think that that's disturbing? A banana, all that? Like you don't like, and the fact that like Bree, so you support PDFs and you will proudly ride for her with no seatbelt on, just going? Like girl, at least put the bottom seatbelt on. Something. Get in the middle seat and put that seat. Something, girl. I need you. Like you're doing too much. How do you defend that? You can't. No normal person would. It's crazy. Like just don't ever let that type of friendship find me. Like I don't want it. Like I don't want anybody to ride for me that hard. Like knowing that that's what you're into and I'm still riding for you. Like it's just that's crazy to me. Yes, that's exactly why she was obsessed with having a baby. And I will go as far to say this, and I know that this may be very controversial, and a lot of people might not like what I have to say. But the fact that you would send your child into a store looking dirty and unkept, in my opinion, it shows me that the care and thought that you'd put into your child isn't there. What parent eh, of a baby girl at that, I feel like you always have them looking decked out and like when you're going out with a little girl or even a boy, but just bows and the whole nine, like always to the T, like fresh onesies, like you want them to look. Hell, babies smell so good. You always want to give babies baths all the time and put them in new clothes. Hell, their clothes coming out the laundry smells like baby powder. Like I don't understand. Like it doesn't make sense to me, and I feel like that just shows when a child is unkept. I feel like that's an indication of stuff going on behind the scenes. That's just my opinion. Y'all might think I'm wrong about that, but that's just my opinion. To be fair, true crime. Her baby does not. She don't look presentable either. To be fair, like to be fair. I mean, I guess her clothes were clean, but I mean, you don't have your. I don't know. None of it makes sense to me, and I'm just being very honest with you. None of it makes sense to me. Um, but I think that these videos coming out is really a demise. Like I think it's another level of it because it's too in people's face, and the fact that multiple people are sharing clips. I think that it's going to be very interesting, especially this next week or 2 weeks before Christmas. I mean, obviously the New Year. A lot of people are off, and if people continue to like post clips and stuff like that, thank you. Um, into the weeds. Uh, I think will be very good because people are off, people are watching, people have the time. Um, I feel like these videos, clips need to constantly um, be going off TikTok, Instagram, whatever. It just needs to be constantly in circulation. I don't know, like my videos about Gypsy on Facebook don't do well, but my videos on Diddy on Facebook do well, which is interesting because I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, I still post them. I just thought that was very interesting to see that. I feel like Facebook is where I really want it to go viral because I feel like that's where more of the people were supporting her. I do think Perez Hilton's interest is definitely a step in the right direction. I think the thing with Perez Hilton, though, that we as a community need to be careful of is like to kind of stick to like the facts and like proving her story being a lie. Because I feel like it's really kind of easy to get wrapped up in the drama of it all. And then like he'll get lost in the sauce because I think the facts are going to be really important for him to get first. Then if he's wrapped into drama, it makes sense. It's okay because then he has the information. But this is such a complex um, case. Like there's so much information that you have to really understand because even I see a lot of creators speak on Didi, and what I find very interesting is that I realize that she has never been really humanized to the public, and what people believe about Dee Dee is based on what Gypsy and Christy has said. And considering that's what's happening, I don't know. I think that like more of those videos of Dee Dee dancing and stuff like that need to circulate, because then it will allow people to see her like happy and smiling, and like seeing the banter between her and Gypsy, because that wasn't, the conversations between her and Gypsy were not, they didn't come across um abusive. Now, Salone did do a video here on YouTube. It's a really good video. I feel like it's very thorough. He just really didn't know the facts about Dee Dee per se, but I feel like it was a very thorough video, probably the best video, one of the best videos I've seen on YouTube for someone that wasn't really speaking about her that much. Um, Nobody cares, but you're in here saying you don't care. That means you care, unless you have a cognitive delay. I mean, you pick which one. Yes, her family has made her out to the villain, to be a villain, and that's why I feel like the videos of her dancing and like her just being goofy is really important for people to see, because it's one thing for you to say, "Oh, she was a, she was a lively person, she was the life of the party," or whatever you want to say, but to see and imagine she was dancing like that, not knowing that her daughter was going to really just slash her. Yeah, she seemed really outgoing and lively, and I don't know. And again, I also think it's very damning that Rod said he missed her dearly. And I think he missed her not for a physical reason. I think just how she was. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like because you are, have you ever been around someone that you feel like just makes you feel good, not because of like anything other than just their presence? I'm assuming that. Yeah, the Cape Cod video is, it's really sad to see, because you realize she wasn't who they tried to portray. Like they say, pictures are worth 1,000 words. Well, videos are worth even more. Yeah, Dee Dee did spoil her rotten. But here's the thing: even if Dee Dee did not spoil her, who Gypsy is, it was inevitable. She has issues, like issues that she was born with. Like, I know that people don't like to hear that someone is not redeemable. I know people love to hear a redemption story. I am saying this to you right now. She is not redeemable. She's not. In fact, I would go as far to say she should have gotten a penalty. And again, I have never been a penalty advocate. I always was like, that's, we don't give life, who are we to take it? But I think that I understand why they have that. I truly understand. I get it now. I didn't understand it until her, and now I fully. But with that being said, I feel like very few people, in my opinion, would fit into that box. Yes, and you know one thing that I feel like is really worth noting that I feel like we haven't really spoken that much. Remember what she kept saying in one of the videos that she could, unalive someone, but just not those two people? And she kept saying that over and over and over, like throughout a couple of different videos. Um, I think that was kind of like her way of kind of like gaslighting if those videos were ever discovered by the police. It's like, well, she said she could never do that, not realizing that, investigators didn't just they didn't become investigators because they won a detective badge in a Cracker Jacks box. You know what I'm saying? Like, how could you possibly think you could outsmart them? Like, they knew what was going on. Yes, I do believe she would have had more had she not been caught. And I honestly still believe that it's not going to be long before we hear about another one. Yeah, Gypsy is extremely calculated and a lot more calculated than I think people truly want to believe, which is why I think it's very interesting that Ryan said that he doesn't want to come to terms with that's who she is because she's been that way all her life. It's kind of like delusional to think she's anything other than that person. Hey. Yes, and Dee Dee covering for her lies only perpetuated more of what she was doing. You know, the unfortunate thing is nobody's going to, the state is not going to save her. The What I feel like I've learned is that if you don't protect your kids, the state won't, unless it benefits them taking the child from you. And who knows what's wrong, if there's anything wrong with her or whatever, but to them, she might be more of a burden. And let's be honest, who's really going to want to adopt her? I'm not trying to be funny or rude. I'm not. I am saying, like, the stuff Gypsy has going on, stuff like that are generational curses. And if you're going to adopt a kid, the last thing you would want to do is adopt a kid that you already know comes from a family that has mental health issues. That's the reality. Because I mean, adopting a child that you know the likelihood of it turning out well is low. And I'm not saying like she can't get educated or anything like that, but generational curses don't just break, especially when they're mental health disorders. So, and I think that's the thing that people don't want to come to because everybody wants to say, oh, things are redeemable, da 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 da. And yeah, in some cases they are, but when they're mental health issues, which, I mean, think about it. She has Ken as a dad and Gypsy as a mom. I'm not, like, again, I'm not trying to be rude at all. But I'm just being very honest. Like, that's why when you go to a psychiatrist or a therapist, they ask you about your family's mental health history, not just your mental health history. That's because it matters. So whether, you want to say, oh, well, someone could be redeemed, somebody, those questions are asked for a reason. They're not asked just because. They're asked for a reason because history matters. And yeah, I don't know who would be a glutton for punishment that would want to put themselves in that situation with the odds really being against them. That's the reality. I wish her well. I don't want to see anything happen to anybody's kids, regardless of who their parents are. But, I mean, think about it. You have Ken as a dad. Your dad voluntarily laid down with somebody that unalived their mom to make you. There's no way. Like, how do you move on with life like that? No, like, really think about that. Your dad said, I like this girl that unalived her mom. Yeah, we can make a baby. Mhm. Yeah, sounds like a good idea. Like you voluntarily signed up for that? Then I don't know what else to tell you. Yes, after seeing those videos, somebody was saying she was an actress. First of all, well, it wasn't convincing. Listen, I don't think Christy wants some type of problems. I know y'all think that she would adopt her. I don't think Christy wants them type of problems because she knows exactly what she's getting herself into. And let's think about it. Aurora's not coming with a paycheck. If she was coming with a paycheck, maybe, but Aurora's not coming with a paycheck. So how she wouldn't really benefit her. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to think like everything with that family, it has to benefit them. How would that benefit her? Mm, Bree will definitely end up in jail with Gypsy for something by proxy. Like probably even Sheena. Yeah, and I think, but here's the thing: Gypsy and Christy are just two sides of the same coin, and the only difference is Christy has not unalived anyone. They are the same person, and that's why they don't get along that well. You know, what I was thinking about Bree? What if one of the reasons why she rides so hard for her is because she supplies her with rugs? And if she tells the truth, then she'll tell on her and stop supplying her. Has anyone thought of that? I'm just saying. No, the reason why she's not showing the baby's face, it's a mind game. Uh, she wants to come across as an overprotective parent, but because she comes across like that, nobody will think that she's doing anything crazy to her. It's a mind game. It's definitely a mind game because, and it's a mind game for the public. It's not, because let's be honest, predators don't care what the baby's face look like. Let's be honest. Because half the times when they bust these guys on Dateline or whatever and they find pictures, the faces are cropped out. Like when you read through these police reports and stuff like that, like half the times, like, so that don't really mean anything. Listen, anything is liable to happen with Gypsy and that baby. That's the unfortunate part. And I'll say this, if they didn't save her back when Gypsy was on parole, that makes me feel like they won't ever. Because if they were going to, they would have done it already. Oh, I don't know when her new podcast is gonna. But let's be honest, she's not consistent with anything. Gypsy's not interesting to listen to. She doesn't have any perspective. She's just going to adapt to whoever she feels like would be trending, and then she'll give up because she's not good at it. Let's be honest. And podcasts are really hard. Uh, Ivy and I are gonna do a different type of thing. We'll tell you guys about it soon. But we wanted to do something kind of more unique than what we were doing. Something that some like other podcasters were not bringing to the table. So you guys will hear about that soon. No, they are more reactive than. First of all, it's never about protecting kids, and I don't know why that is always what's said because it's never about that. Oh, exactly. Just like the paintings and magic in the chaos. Like Gypsy just gives like a bad business person that keeps trying to start a venture and nobody wants to. Like it's like you, even when she was creating content, she was very inconsistent. And one thing about creating content is you have to be consistent. Like it doesn't matter what's going on, you still have to have some sort of consistency and like constantly flipping and flopping and not like being consistent and then kind of like changing your thoughts every other day. It just thanks for joining. It just it's not going to go anywhere. I don't see her committing to anything and because the reality is she's never truly herself, right? Because she doesn't even know who herself is. So because she's never truly herself, she doesn't know who to be. And when you have to constantly be someone else every time you show up on screen, that's very hard to do. It's first of all, live streaming on a whole is will burn you out. But live streaming and you're cosplaying every time you live stream, do you know how stressful that is? Yeah, that's like, and I think too, I think people think content creation is super easy because creators make it look easy. Um, but I think that like when you see the work that's put, behind the scenes, people realize it's not as easy as it's perceived. And I think even now TikTok has really cracked down on creators and what kind of content they will drive. And like TikTok was the one platform that I feel like could you may not be like a great creator, but if you have like a great like 1 minute think piece, like you might go viral and do well. And if you're able to maintain like a 1 minute, you know, video, you might continuously be able to go viral. Very few people, I think, from TikTok could do long form content and keep people engaged. And I think that because TikTok has created that platform, people thought that TikTok would always be that way. But TikTok is now really cracked down on like engagement. Like, how long are people watching your videos? Are they watching it through to the whole, like watching the whole video through? Um, like what's the engagement like on the video, like they're paying attention to all those things, and that's based on how they're paying you, versus before, if you had, I don't know, a million views, you would get paid for whatever views came from the For You page. It's no longer like that. It's all, well, it is like that, but it's still like they have to watch it for a certain amount of time. The engagement has to be high for, or the view time has to be high for them to even push it out in algorithm. So that comes with a whole lot more. And I just don't see her being able to keep people's attention that long on TikTok, let alone YouTube, because TikTok is much easier than YouTube. It is. And anyone that doesn't realize that as a creator is, they don't really understand what it is that they're doing. Well, so she said, it seems as though the podcast that she wants to start would basically be other abuse survivors coming and speaking out. But I think that's kind of interesting, because if your story's a lie, how could we believe that you're going to vet people that their story is going to be true? Because who's the judge of if the story is true or not? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I would. I just, it. What would be the point of watching her? I mean, who's gonna be on a podcast with her? Bree and Sheena. Yo, you know what I thought was really funny? I have to tell you guys about this because I was cracking up on the phone about this earlier. So Gypsy's friend Sheena, the one that looked like her mama, got Botex to go to baby Aurora's birthday party. Why? Why? I can't make it make sense. I cannot make it make sense. Man, so they say. But I don't even know if I believe that at this point. Well, I think now nobody would want to be associated with her. But did you guys hear that she kept saying she's friends with Paris Hilton? Like, girl, you're a predator. That's what she's directly against. You know what I thought was really funny, y'all? Okay, my friend called me and was telling me about this. Well, she sent me a video where they were saying it. Y'all, I nearly crashed my car. And, child, listen, they calling her Geppetto. Geppetto. When I tell you I was in tears, like real tears. Y'all, so I have the funniest thing. So I have to get this tooth fixed on Monday. Uh, I had an appointment with this doctor. So I had a gap here before, and I basically had this tooth bonded and this tooth bonded, so they came together. And after I had braces, and I was eating a crab leg, and it basically broke the bond, right? Y'all are gonna laugh. Just wait. This is hysterical. Okay, just know you're gonna laugh. So I didn't realize that the bond broke right away. Well, like an hour or so, because I thought the crab like shell was stuck in my tooth, but no, it was the tooth. Like when I actually looked in the mirror, the shock on my face was priceless. Anyway, I could not get an appointment with her until November 5th. Ironically, on November 4th, something major happened. I can't tell you guys about it for a couple of months, but once I can, I'll tell you guys about it. So I was unable to make it. Y'all, so I finally saw her on Wednesday. So, basically, she basically assessed my teeth and whatever. So we have the appointment for this Monday. Okay. So I told her in the meantime, I said, look, I'm a content creator. I couldn't really just have, because y'all don't judge me, because y'all are going to talk smack. And I don't care, honestly, because I think it's funny too. I basically DIY'd my tooth right here, but I couldn't get right here. So why I said to the dentist, I just want you to know, I did not get this kit and say, I was gonna DIY this and I was gonna go to the casket like this, or I was just gonna go about my merry business and just live my life. Like, no, my intention was like just until I had an appointment with you, right? So she started cracking up. I said, and to be fair, I did say to myself, these people don't go to school for years for you to be at the house DIYing it and thinking it's gonna be the same. Like, so I knew that in my defense, okay. But she has like a long wait list. She's such a like she's really good at what she does, and bonding is not like not every dentist does bonding. So, and I was very particular about who I wanted to do it because I got my original bonding done in Santo Domingo. And so I was like, I need to find someone here that can do it or whatever. And I ended up finding her, and yeah, so I get it fixed Monday. But I'm gonna do a story time about it, just because I think it's so funny the way she reacted, and like how I first of all, before I met her, I told the receptionist, because I was thinking like if I tell the receptionist, they know I'm a fool. So when I come in there, me being a fool will not shock you. And me telling you that I did this won't shock you because I prepped you for it. But the receptionist didn't tell the doctor, so she was like hysterically laughing. And I'm like, I tried to prep y'all. Like, I told the receptionist thinking she'd pass the message along. And then when I met the receptionist, it made sense because she's so chill that it seems like you could, like you could tell her, like, yeah, I ran over something with my car. And she'll be like, oh, okay. Like, and not really think much of it and kind of mind her business. And I was like, okay, now I get why that message wasn't relayed to her, because she just is like, okay, okay, girl, like no judgment for me type of thing, right? So she didn't pass the message along, because I was like, I was just hoping that she told the doctor like, okay, this girl's a fool. She said she got a DIY kit at the house and she tried to fix her teeth on her own until she got to you. But yeah, nah. So she didn't know. Yeah, she was definitely confidential. Like, which is so funny to me. All I could do was laugh about it. But so it'll be fixed on Monday. I'm kind of excited because um I've been wanting to get it done, but it's just I know that bonding you have to be careful, because I've seen so many horror stories about people getting it done and it falling out like the next day or something like that. And I was like, "Oh, hell no. I don't want that." So, I was very meticulous about who I wanted to go to. But yeah, no, I think. Wait, she would need to pay Bree for the amount of time. Listen, if Bree is truly doing this for free and not getting any sort of rugs, I don't know. You know what someone said to me? Like Gypsy was throwing gifts in one of the lives or whatever with Perez, and they were like, "I bet you, Gypsy made Bree send it back." I said, "Nah, because you think rug addicts send money back? That would be news to me. Like they don't send money back. If you send anything to somebody that does rugs, you can hang that up. Hell, sometimes you don't even have to give them anything. They will take the TV off of your wall and just go pawn it. Like they definitely not sending back money. I don't know. I feel like Bree feels like she has a badge of honor for protecting Gypsy, not realizing she's being used. Because I feel like when this is all said and done, Gypsy is going to treat Bree the same way she treated Rachel Garlic. When Rachel Garlic was like, I was really there for her, I helped her, I did this, I did that. Like I think that it's those two situations are gonna be very parallel, except for the fact that Rachel, I could see your comment now. You know what, Frankie? I'm definitely not gonna do that again. Well, you know Jip be stalking Ryan's lives, everybody's lives. It's so funny because she'll block you and watch you on a burner, which is just this. It really shows something's not right. The fact that you will block somebody and then go watch them on, it's just crazy. I blocked her back, so like even if she was to unblock me, she would not have access to my page from her page because it's like, girl, who do you think you are? But see, here's the thing. Even if she tells on herself, the reality is they're not gonna do anything. So I don't know. Thank you, Cheek. I don't know. She's just weird on a whole, and I honestly don't think. Well, I think the fact that they're all trying to defend her and it's not going the way they anticipated, and in fact, I feel like because they can't really control the narrative, and too many people. Oh, cool. Hey, Bella. I don't know. YouTube has been doing that to me. I don't know why. Um, I feel like because there's so many. I don't know. I just feel like it's them trying to defend her so much and it's not really panning out because everything's able to be debunked, that they're now trying to figure out how to navigate through that. I would be interested to see if they're going to start reaching out to a lot of these bigger creators that are making videos about her and stuff like that. But I feel like at this point there's nothing that they can say. This is over. Literally Dragon. She could have been famous for her deletion and now she is famous for the unaliving. And but I think also a lot of people seeing these videos of Nick showing that they're like where it's not just being said he has a cognitive delay, it's clear that he does. Um I think that's another. I don't think it's the government is trying to protect her per se. I think that a lot of people were trying to protect her, because it's frowned upon to question a victim, right? And even like in the wording that she uses, like even that post that she did in her stories, she made it kind of like where if you question anything, you look like a bad person. And like it's almost like she's saying it, but then she's condemning it at the same time. Like, and it's like throughout the whole thing. And it's what's really weird too is she also said that the reason why she wouldn't go up with Perez is that she's moved on. It's over and she's moved on. It's over and you've moved on, but yet you're in everybody's chat. It's but yet you have all your friends coming up on live panels defending you. You got to come up with a better excuse. I can't. There's something that I'm working on right now, and I can't really talk about it because like I just like signed paperwork and stuff like that. Um, but that is definitely I'll be able to talk to you guys about that like sometime next year. But we'll see because yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. You know what? I do believe they will. I do believe they will. Um there's just some stuff I can't say, but I do believe they will. Yeah, and see that's the thing, Kristen, like a lot of people felt bad for her and felt like she had this horrible life, which is very interesting because you automatically feel bad for someone when they have a story that sounds really bad. But the thing that I think is like very interesting is that she never backs up anything she says with actual facts. Like everything they lead on is emotion, including like Bree and Sheena. Like even when Sheena was on live with Perez yesterday, she started by how great and caring and loving of a person Gypsy is. And yeah, she did that 10 years ago, but she's a great person now. She everything was based on emotion and nothing was based on facts. Then Sheena also said on that same live, this very same live, that she's been researching this case from the time it started. Um, but then he asked her about stuff about the case, and she said he would have to ask Bree because she doesn't know all that. So I was like, have you researched it or not? Because you just sent him over to Bree. But you just sat here and said that you researched it. Which one is it? Like, which one is it? Like it's those types of things that I think Perez knows that Gypsy, Bree, Sheena, all of them are liars now. I think it's just too clear because everything's always able to be debunked. Thanks, Bella. Yeah, she's sick and twisted, and she surrounds herself by people that are just as sick and twisted. And I just don't know how long I think that'll happen. I don't think it'll be much longer. Exactly. And see, the thing about this whole situation is that if you're telling the truth never changes. So when the truth starts changing, obviously you're not telling the truth. And I'm not sure why she hasn't done that. I also think what's very interesting is that she'll try so hard to go against what everybody's saying that if she really, and not now, because I think that ship has sailed, but had she had really wanted to not be looked at in the light that she's being looked at right now, she would have just came out and said, "Yeah, I did some really bad things that I shouldn't have done, and I'm not proud of it. I'm open to answering any questions honestly and doing just that." And I would have had just one big interview by, I don't know, someone that I felt like would have interviewed me and still been respectful. Um, and just said that would really, I would want to move on from that. Oh, you know what? Perez's facial expressions when Bree was talking, you could tell like he was thinking, what the hell is she talking about? Like, it was very funny. Oh, you know what? You're right. I do need to tell him about that tattoo. Exactly. I think it's funny that she wants to be an influencer, but I also don't think I think she wants to be an influencer to influence people, but not necessarily be like she doesn't want to do the work. She just wants the title. Hey, Fly. You know what? You're right. She is the definition of a ride or die. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want nobody to ride that hard for me. I don't. I don't. Like I want my friends to call me out and be like, "Look, get it together. Like, what are you doing?" Like at this point, Bree is just a crash dummy. If we're gonna be real, that's what's going on right now. Because she's riding for her with literally no seatbelt in a car going 125 miles per hour. Like, at what point do you say, you know what, I might need to sit this ride out? I feel like this is not, you know what I'm saying? I don't want this to be an episode of Jackass. You know what? I haven't watched Brie enough to see that she's not as confident. But you know what? I actually, okay, the other day she was on a live, and I actually think I put the live up. Um, Brie was holding the phone for everyone to see what she had on her laptop about Nick. Man, she was shaking more than a stripper at the strip club. That let me know that she felt pressure. So she, and I don't know how she could remain confident with all of what's happening and everything that's been exposed. Oh, dang. Where's that at? The baby in the jumper looked like she wasn't breathing. You gotta go check that out. Where's that at, Bella? Temper, it went away. Listen, the way she was up dancing, you can't tell me that she could not. She was handicapped. Like at that, like she clearly could walk at one. So it's like, girl, why do you keep saying that? Oh, I need to look for that. Yeah, I don't know if I could say there's no kid. And I honestly feel like I sound crazy saying that right now. So I feel like at this point there gotta be a kid. But I don't know. You don't have IG either. I don't like IG very much either, though. I don't, to be honest. You're right, Fly Girl. She did say that, but I don't understand why no one else is seeing that. Wait, it's really not. Can someone email me the link to that? That's so crazy. Oh, when did I knew that Ivy Rose Grows Wild was a fraud from the time she started talking about me because I was like, girl, I don't know you. Why are you talking about me? Like I don't know who you are. And you know what? She was the second person that I found out that was just running their mouth about me and I didn't know who they were. The first person was straight out of context, which was really interesting because I didn't even know she ever existed. And then someone sent me the video of her and Kate Marie, and I was sharing it to people I knew, and they were like, "You know, this girl got videos on her page talking shit about you." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that." Like because I didn't know who she was. Like that was the first time I ever saw like someone had ever sent me a video of hers, and I was like, "Damn, that's crazy." Like not me sharing the video, knowing that finding out that you talk smack about me online. That was kind of embarrassing. That was hella embarrassing. Just put copy link and just put it in the email. So if it's on TikTok, go down to the right hand side of the screen. You should see three dots, and then you should see copy link, and you could like it basically is a cut and paste. Yeah, that's how I found out. I really didn't know. And I was like, wow, she had a whole lot of videos about me on TikTok. And I'm like, I didn't even know, like, I didn't even at all, had never seen, never heard um, about her. And I just was like, wow. And then Ivy Rose Grows Wild was doing the same thing. And her behavior was too, now, straight out of context, did apologize. I will say that. Um, like after a while. I don't know if she meant it or not, but um, then Ivy Rose Grows Wild. Like her behavior was too. Um, it was too odd. I felt like the whole time it was a setup. I don't. I think Christy sent her as a plot twist the entire time. I don't think she was ever an anti-gypsy creator. To be honest with you. To really be honest with you, I don't think she was ever a anti-gypsy creator. I think she was sent as a plot twist because like think about it. She just popped up on the scene and felt like other creators should post about her and talk about her. You get what I'm saying? Like and you know what's crazy? Anxious Ant, I actually used to watch their stuff. I was like, wait, you talking smack about me? I've never had two words with you. I thought that was weird too. That was very weird to me. Oh, your page was, girl, that is a whole scandal because that happened to me at the wrong time. Um, although it's settled now. So, you know what? Anybody that's on here that's on TikTok, if you're in the creative fund, I might be able to give you guys a little key of hope. So, obviously, TikTok sold, well, ByteDance kept 19.999% of TikTok, and 30% of it was sold, and it was signed. It'll everything signed off except for, well, from ByteDance and TikTok, and it'll be completed by the 22nd of January. A lot of people are trying to figure out like why the creator fund's been so weird and like why they're not making as much money as they made before. There's a couple of reasons for that. One main reason is most businesses, right before they sell, um, their profit margin needs to be high. And because the profit margin needs to be high, the creator fund is the easiest corner to cut because most creators are not going to turn around and take legal action. I mean, and even if they did, that's after the fact, they still would be able to sell for high because the profit margin showed high. So they're like basically cutting some creators that are not like in any TikTok management. Like if you don't have a manager through TikTok, or you're in like some program with TikTok, you're going to get screwed um, because of that. But now that it's going to be sold, I would venture to say after January 22nd, you'll probably see it get a lot better because I think what they're going to want to do is build creator trust. I'm interested to see how things will go on TikTok politically, considering the people buying it are all Trump supporters. So I think that that's going to be very interesting to see how the dynamics works with that. Although I do think they know that their consumer on TikTok is the average person. I think they're kind of going to want to be careful because they're buying it to make profit and not to lose. I think it'll be interesting to just kind of see how it plays itself out. Personally, I think that it should probably just stay off politics when it comes to TikTok as of right now. Y'all, I want to talk to y'all about Candace Owens. What do y'all think? I am I have a few thoughts of my own, but I want to hear what y'all think. Hey, TM. Okay, I'm gonna look for it, Bella. I heard Amber J did flip. But did she really flip or she really was? Because I feel like all of her videos were never, I think it was like pure comedy, but she never really went after Gypsy like for real to me. You're 50-50. Um, so she's very interesting to me. I think she does do good deep dives generally. But with this, what's going on right now, I don't know. I've wanted to hear what she says, and I feel like some things she says, there may be some truth to it, or a lot of, I don't know, or even maybe possibly a lot of truth to it, but I also feel like she flip-flops, so it's hard to really, she's not really trust. And I think, to be fair, I'm going to be very honest. I think at some point she was paid off, probably more than one time. But okay, let's be honest. Did anyone truly think that they were going to release the Epstein files without redacting. I don't think we'll see the true version of that. Um, and let's be honest, okay? If we're gonna be very very honest, like just be brutally honest, even if it came out, I think the people that support him don't care. Like they are fully aware of who he is, and they're okay with that. And and that's almost kind of why I feel like I don't know if I would like to see justice for the victims, just because I'm sure they would love some sort of closure, um, or you know, almost to be validated, I guess. Um, but I don't I don't know. I don't know. But I know that it's not going. You know what? That's the truth. Is too many powerful people would be exposed, and I am saying not even just politics. I think across Hollywood, politics, um, all of that. And if we're gonna really be fair, like if we're really truly gonna be fair, Diddy and Trump are the same person. Just one's black and one's white. They're two sides of the same coin. Power, money, influence, good with knowing how to talk to people and kind of like um, manipulate and use like they're the same people. You know, unraveling. I thought that at one point, but part of me feels like something happened with some money, and then she turned. There was some sort of it only makes sense when you think about it because um and I feel like this thing with her and Erica is like uh them throwing a monkey bar and trying to confuse people. Um and then it's like a back and forth, like something's not right. And it's whatever it is, it's not like what it seems like. Does that make sense? Whatever it is, it's not what it seems like. It's there's something we're missing major that we don't know, that is, especially because of the day that she met with her and the day after, and then her live yesterday, it was vastly different. Like vastly. Um it was too different to not be able to see that there was a clear indication of something happening behind the scenes, if that makes sense. Like I feel like it was, I don't know, I something's not right. I can't tell you what it is. I felt like that about her for, and I was hearing her out because I was like, there's some truth to what she's saying, but I can't figure out what and how much. And because she's also really good at speaking, very good at speaking. So it's kind of like, I don't know. We'll have to see. Truth in the chaos. No, lies in the chaos should be Gypsy's new rebrand. Because I don't think she'll ever put her ego down to tell the truth. Because if she was to tell the truth, it would be much easier. But I don't think she'll ever put the facade that she has to tell the truth. I think the truth would get her a lot further right now, and like fully the full truth. would get her a lot further. Although I don't think she would be famous for it. But I think that, she would do better. But at this point, I think it's too far gone. People wouldn't trust her. No matter what she said, like even if people would try to figure out what is her motive. Because if she was going to be honest, she needed to do that a long time ago. Not her trying to be Kale. That'll never happen. I don't even see how she thinks that she could be her. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to go look at that. But I'm gonna get off of here because y'all, I'm tired, and this is my first Saturday that my daughter does not have cheer practice. And I am going to sleep in, finally. Because normally she has to be at cheer practice at like 10 o'clock in the morning, 11. So I have to get her up by 9, washed, showered, all that stuff. And this is the first time where I could actually sleep in. I'm actually excited. I'm gonna actually go look for the video. So I'll probably be on here this weekend. I'm sure I'll be on here this weekend because I won't be as busy as I normally am. So I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye, y'all.